how I found out my ex was cheating on me. Now I haven't watched the video. I'm assuming, hopefully, she's talking about Zile. It's gonna be an interesting video. I hope she's not clickbaiting. I mean, she's not clickbaiting. She didn't precisely say anyone's name, but I hope it's about Zile. All right, let's find out, bro.
Long time, or he'd be comfortable enough to leave me in a room while I have his phone in my hand, you know? So that
All right,
made me worried. That made me skeptical. That made
that shit is loud. That shit.
Lucy. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Um,
Wait, is the audio chalked? I think the audio is chalked. Is it just?
I guess you saw the title of the video, and I think I'm gonna have a mini story time of not I think I am gonna have a mini story time on part of the reasons why my last relationship ended. And
I am assuming the last relationship is Zile. I hope she says the name just to confirm, so we don't speculate a lot. That's it.
some of you may be thinking that, oh, why are you only talking about this right now? Because it's almost about to be a year, but I just wanna share my part because I
It's
feel
been a
like
year since they broke up.
I just have to, you know. So it's August 2023, and on this day I woke up to go
I feel
and
like
see
my
my boyfriend.
light is
It
a
would
little
be a
bit
regular thing for
orange.
me to wake up and see my boyfriend like every weekend. So I think it was like a Saturday, and I went there
This one
to
is
see
bad,
him,
right?
you know. And
I think this type
I
of
was
light
like,
is
oh,
bad.
cool. I woke up happy knowing that I'm gonna go see my boyfriend. We're probably gonna go out as
Nah,
well
I
and
miss the
have a good
orange one.
time,
Let
you
me go
know.
back to the
So
orange
every
one.
weekend it was like a thing for me to go and see him. So he lived
It's
about
too
half an
orange.
hour away, and sometimes
This one is
I
good.
would wish that I could see him like more often, but I couldn't because of the distance and everything. So it was just during the weekend,
All right.
unless there were like special occasions where we could see each other more often, you know. But yeah, so on the Saturday I woke up and I went to see him and everything was fine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I texted him and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be on my way soon, and he was like, oh yeah, change of plans. I actually need to go to work right now because there's something that came up. You know, I don't remember what the actual reason was, but it was something along those lines. Yeah. So he had gotten to work.
This is The Generator, funded by the Capfin loan that Fred took. These
And he left his keys with his neighbor, I think, so that I could go in even though he wasn't there, or there was someone at his place, I think, yeah. So yeah, I made my way to his place. I got to his place. Indeed, he wasn't there, and I got in. You know, I made myself comfortable. I cleaned. I would have cooked if I could cook, but I can't cook. And yeah, you know, I was just making sure that everything is in its place so that when he comes back, it's clean. You know, he doesn't need to worry about that. You're like,
All
yeah,
right.
it's fine.
Get to the
I,
spicy stuff.
I
That's what we're waiting for. Waiting for the spicy stuff. I mean, she get it. She's building up the story to give us the backstory of the entire day, so we can get it. But I like the spicy stuff. I like drama.
think about another hour went by, and he finally came back, and he came back with one of his workmates, you know. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know this would happen, but I was like, okay, but it's fine, yeah. And then he had also had a bit to drink. Sorry, he had a bit to drink as well, so he was low key out of it. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's fine. Then we sat and we chilled. He kept falling asleep. I was like, why don't you just go and sleep on your bed, you know? And then he was like, no, I'm fine, I'm fine. But then I was like, oh, okay, you know what? It's fine. You can go sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally agreed to go back to bed, or go to bed to sleep.
Maybe it's the wrong speculation when she's talking about Zile was drunk when he got home. I'm saying Zile, guys. She didn't say Zile. She's talking about the ex. She hasn't said a name. I'm just assuming. That's the reason why I'm watching this. To be fair, so I'm just gonna say Zile. Should I? I don't know, man. Let me just continue the video because I almost said something and she hasn't confirmed the name yet. So let's just continue. until we have our facts correct. Because I might say some bullshit comments and it might not happen to be true. So
So sorry, guys. I'm just so nervous. I thought that the story was something that I'd be able to tell, but clearly, but anyway, yeah, he finally went to sleep, and he left me behind in the dining room with whoever was there, with whoever he came with. Yeah, and she went to sleep. An hour went by. I got bored. I was like, no, maybe I should go wake him up. So I went to his room and I tried to wake him up. Oh no, he was out of it. He was not having it. And then he went back. Then I went back to the dining room and I was like, yeah, maybe I should let him sleep a bit more. Another 20 minutes went by. Then I went back into the room and I was like, oh no, I can't do this. So I just went there and I laid next to him, and I tried to fall asleep as well, but I really couldn't. So yeah, I just chilled for a while. And then I looked at his phone. I
ooh.
was like, maybe this is my chance. Maybe this is my chance. So
Oh my
I took his
god.
phone. And for context,
Nah.
I
Okay.
didn't just take his phone for no reason.
Okay. Tell us
I
what.
did have reason to suspect, excuse me,
Which
that
was?
I did have reason to suspect that something had been going on because he was a bit.
You know what's the funny thing about women? Women will tell you about women intuition. They can feel when you're cheating. What do they call it? I think no, there's another name for it. They say they can feel when you're cheating, whatever. But the funny thing is that they can't tell when you're unhappy. It's like they're so blindsided. But for me, what that's what most people say. But what I know is that women can feel when you're cheating, and they can also feel when you're unhappy. They don't care. That's one thing I'll tell you. They don't care. I don't think they can't feel or they can't feel the energy when you're not unhappy. I don't think they're unable to. I think they're capable of doing that. It's as much as they are able to feel when you're cheating. They don't care about that.
Weird about his phone. He never. I would touch it, but it would never be that thing that I would have it like for a long time.
Hey, ifuna indoda ayibambi. Yeah. If working, I'll show you the video. Let me
Or
finish
he'd
it
be
here.
comfortable enough to leave me in a room while I have his phone in my hand. So that made me worried. That made me skeptical. That made me question a lot of things. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
I saw an opportunity to go through his phone and I did. So I did know his password. I opened his phone. The first thing that I opened was Instagram. And yeah, I went to
Oh,
Instagram and I
Instagram.
opened his DMs and I found out that he was flirting with quite a number of girls. He would reply to stories,
Mm.
he would like stories. He'd even ask people out on coffee dates and
Ooh.
dates, tell them how hot they are, tell them how much he'd smash them. And I was like, oh, that's when my heart.
I mean, she hasn't said exactly she's talking about Zile, but I don't want Zile. Zile, if she's talking about you, vele vele kwena, I do want jo. Like Zile looks like one of those, like he looks so. I don't wanna say innocent. I don't wanna say innocent. He looks so righteous. He looks so righteous, He looks so righteous. But let's finish. But I guess at the end of the day, men are just men, bro. Now I'm putting if she's talking about Zilo, if Zilo were cheated, a very righteous man, what more can you expect to the rest of us? Like, come on, girls, come on, let's be realistic.
Heart sunk, you know. Then I went to WhatsApp. Surprisingly, WhatsApp had nothing in it. It was completely clean. Like there was nothing, which was so odd because it's like every time I would search "I love you," my name would pop up. Every time I'd search "I miss you," my name would pop up. Those things you only say to your partner. My name would pop up, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm good. And then I put his phone down. I turned it off, and I was like, wait a minute. I opened it again. I went to iMessage. Oh,
Oh, I
oh,
message.
oh dear. Mind you, he's still asleep. He's snoring right next to me. And there's a group of people in the dining room. And I'm over here, scared or worried. I felt a lot of emotions in that moment. So I opened his iMessage and I went to the very first chat. The very first chat. I even remember this girl's name. There's no way I can forget this girl's name ever. Anyway, I opened the chat. I found some very, very disturbing things.
Give us an
Very
example. What is
disturbing
it?
things.
Because sometimes I feel like although you guys know I'm a big feminist, I know females can actually exaggerate things. Sometimes they can exaggerate a small thing to a bigger thing.
Oh, the lovey-dovey talk,
Okay.
very sexual talking,
Okay.
very. It just made me so uncomfortable. I nearly puked when I saw that. I was like, what the hell? And this person had convinced me that they are the most. Like, I never ever dreamed that I would be a victim to someone who cheats. I
No
don't know
one
if
is
I've been
safe.
cheated on in previous relationships.
If a guy like Zilla can cheat, I'm assuming allegedly, she hasn't said directly who she's talking about. No one is safe,
But
ladies.
this is
None
the
of you are
first time
safe,
I
bro.
actually catch someone cheating on me, and it was heartbreaking. It was truly heartbreaking.
That's not that deep,
I
bro.
didn't know how to deal with it. So then, right after I saw those messages, that's when I was hitting him and waking him out of his sleep. I was like, "You better wake up! You better wake up before I lose my." So he woke
Ah,
up,
oh my
and the first
god.
thing I asked him was, "Who is the girl's name?" You
Yeah.
know, I asked him, and obviously, when you wake up, you're still confused. You don't know what's going on. But I didn't care about that. I just needed to know who this girl was, you know. So I gave him a chance to come back to life and wake up fully. Then you answer me. Ah, he started explaining things that don't make sense. You know how men try to gaslight you and lie to you, and oh no, this and that. You know what? I was like,
Oh
that's when I
my
fell apart.
god.
I fell apart. I started crying. I was crying relentlessly. I kept crying and crying and crying. Even it got to a point where he didn't even know what to do or say. Like, I don't think I've ever cried like that in my entire life. It literally broke me. To this
Shame. Zili, how could you, mar? My god, my YouTube ad blocker is not working today.
day, I
Okay.
still don't understand what. I don't know. It's just so shocking to me still, you know? Like, how can such a thing happen to me? But you know what?
But this is my advice to all the girls out there. Now, I'm not saying, girls, ladies, please don't take me. I'm not saying cheating is good. You guys should accept cheating. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you find out that your boyfriend is cheating, I would argue 90% of the time, although it's gonna hurt, it's gonna hurt when you find out you're gonna hurt, it's gonna hurt that you find out that your boyfriend is cheating, right? But what I can tell you is that 90% of the time, it has nothing to do with you. It's not even because of you're not good enough or whatever. Just don't feel bad about yourself when you find out that your boyfriend is cheating. 90% of the stuff, 90% of the time, it has nothing to do with you. Although you're gonna be hurt that they cheated on you, yeah, you have a right to be hurt about that. But what I can advise is that you can be hurt that the relationship ended and someone that you love they betrayed you and whatever, but don't take the fact that he cheated on you to somehow to reduce your self-esteem or whatever to make you feel bad as if like you're not good enough or nothing. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
You remember that you're not special. If they can do it to the other person, then they can do it to you as well. So, anyway, it got to a point where he had to call one of his friends who he thought would be able to talk to me. And this was a girl. This was one of his friends who were girls. He
Ah,
called her to come and talk to me, you know. And yeah, we spoke and she asked me how I felt, and I was like, I'm really hurt. I don't know if I can do this, that kind of thing. So her speaking to me calmed me down and it helped, and I appreciated her coming to speak to me. She's such a lovely person. I loved her, and to this day, I still appreciate her being there for me.
Oh,
But unfortunately, when he came back into the room, all the emotions just came back. I just started crying again, and it got to a point where even he started to get emotional, and
what, he
yeah,
cried?
he he really broke my heart. He honestly broke my heart. But you know what
Oh,
the funny part is?
yeah.
I didn't leave after that. I never left.
Okay.
I continued with the relationship, and
He's
we
your
were fine
man.
after that.
He's your man.
But us being fine didn't last long.
Okay.
Obviously, relationships are tricky after someone is dishonest or unfaithful. So, yeah, I didn't trust anything that came out of his mouth.
Since the beginning of time, it's always, you can always, cause it's not like girls. You guys, girls like to act stupid when they're not. What I mean by that, you guys know the reason why they stay in a relationship after you cheat on them is because what I said earlier. Is because they know it's not because you love that person or whatever. It's just like for men, most of the time, it's just sports. It's like a hobby. You know what I'm saying? So it's not nothing personal. But as guys, we also know when you cheat on us, it is 100% you like that person. You know what I'm saying? Like this person, there's feelings involved. That is why most of the time when the guy cheats, relationship can still go on, but when the girl cheats, it ends there. You know what I'm saying, fam? I'm not saying it's okay when a guy cheats, but no, I'm giving you the polar difference. When girls be like, he cheated and I stayed, is because deep down, it's not like, not that it doesn't hurt you, but it is, there's no, most of the time, I'm not saying all the time, most of the time it is, there's no feelings involved.
It, it, it was horrible. It was after that incident of me finding out that he cheated. And then it just got to a point where I knew deep down that I couldn't do this anymore, but I still
Aww.
continued to stay with him because I loved him. But anyway,
Okay.
it got to a point where he broke up with me and he realized that he couldn't do it. I guess that's why he cheated. And you know what? That is okay. But today I can finally say that I'm over it, and I don't think that that's something I ever want to go through again. But unfortunately, you know how life is. You could get into a relationship tomorrow and the same thing could happen again. But that doesn't stop me from doing what I truly want.
Okay.
And yeah, so that is my story.
That's a very
And
interesting
yeah,
story.
thank you guys so much.
I wish you'd have told us why they broke up. Oh, she said he broke up with him. Okay. My God, how much do you know? Do you know? There's I'm not trying to throw shots. I'm not throwing any shots. Guys don't end relationships. When a guy doesn't love you anymore, doesn't like you anymore, they usually just keep you around the corner, just there and whatever. They'll never tell you straightforward, hey, let's end this or whatever. They won't do it. If they do it, then you should know that you're in a small minority. You might have done something extremely so bad that they have to end the relationship with you. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at like the divorce rate, 80% of divorce are initiated by women. Women are the ones that break up with guys all the time. Hey, I'm done, we're done, bye bye, whatever. If a guy breaks up with you, you definitely did something really bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not excusing the cheating part that she mentioned earlier on that they did. I'm just saying after that, you know what I'm saying? She might have said something like, yeah, I forgive you, let's continue and whatever. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm not expecting things to go back where they were, but it's just maybe her energy was just off since then, was just like whatever. Or some girls would be like, okay, since this guy is doing this for me, I was just gonna continue being around him with no feelings attached. I don't love him anymore. I'm just gonna continue using him for his money. I'm not saying that's what she did. I'm just assuming. I'm giving you other speculations. And then when a guy start noticing that kind of behavior and be like, oh, she pretends like she forgave me, for cheating, but she's still around because she's just things that she can benefit from me. By then, whatever. I'm just assuming. I'm creating scenarios and stories, speculations, allegedly.